Welcome to our Sanskrit.com. This is lesson 38. In the previous lesson, lesson 37, we took a story from the Hitopadesha and analyzed it. In this lesson, lesson 38, we will start looking at syntax. Syntax deals with the arrangements of words and phrases to create well-formed sentences in a language. Some of the main features of classical Sanskrit style are given here. Ancient or Vedic Sanskrit differed from classical Sanskrit in many ways. Some of those are given here. Let us look at some of the features of classical Sanskrit syntax. Let us look at word order first. The general rule is that the subject begins the sentence, the verb ends it, and the other members come in between. But since Sanskrit is a heavily inflected language, the order of the words is not very important. In many cases, the emphasis required determines the word order. Of course, if the text is in verse, then so does the meter. Adjectives and the genitive normally precede the substantive, whereas the apposition follows the word it explains or defines. Note that a lot of works in Sanskrit are in verse, and hence, as explained before, metrical and alliterative considerations may take precedence over normal word order. There is neither an indefinite or a definite article in Sanskrit. The words kaschit or eka are used in the sense of a certain, and the pronoun tad is used equivalent to the. As we have said before, Sanskrit has three numbers: singular, dual, and plural. Some of the things to note are given here. Let us look at Concord now. The verb agrees with the subject. An adjective agrees with its substantive. A demonstrative pronoun agrees with its noun. And a relative agrees with its antecedent. Let's look at pronouns. The nominatives of the first and second person personal pronouns are only rarely used, since the person is inherent in the verb endings. Also note that Bhavan, your honor, a very respectable way of saying you, normally uses a verb in the third person singular. Idam, this here, is used adjectively of what is in the neighborhood, presence, or possession of the speaker, whereas adas is used for objects remote from the speaker. Tad can be translated by that, but it is different from others in that it is less used for pointing than for referring to something already known or mentioned, somewhat like the English the. It is often used as a correlative. Etad is like tad, but is more emphatic. Let us start looking at the cases now. The nominative cases, like in other languages, used as the subject of the sentence it is in. A second nominative is used instead of an accusative as predicate with some verbs meaning be, become, seem, think oneself, etc. A word made by iti, which is logically predicate to an object, is normally in the nominative. The accusative case is normally employed as a direct object of a transitive verb and its equivalents, and also predicate words qualifying the object. Some prepositions are accompanied by the accusative. The accusative is also used as goal of motion or action and also of approach and address. Two accusatives are often found as objects of the same verb. Some examples of the usage of the accusative case are given here and in the next two slides. This is the end of lesson 38. In this lesson, we started looking at Sanskrit syntax.